Hello and welcome to VHS Era. Today is one of our two Halloween episodes. And for our very first Halloween episode, we've decided to do the VHS opening for Scream. And I thought, what better way to do an episode on Scream than to invite a horror screenwriter. Yes, everyone, welcome horror screenwriter Brian Fitzpatrick to the show. Thanks for coming on, Brian.
Thanks very much for having me, Kevin. Looking forward to this.
You're welcome. So, Brian, tell me, what is your experience with Scream? Did you watch it when it first came out in theaters?
Yes, I'm old, and I remember very clearly the trailers leading up to it and the amazing movie that it was. It gave us a new twist on the slasher film that sort of reinvigorated it because they were dead in the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, Scream is one of my favorite horror movies, probably. It's got such a clever take on the slasher genre, but it's not just about, making fun of horror movie tropes. It also can be legitimately scary, but it also has characters you actually care about and root for. So it's more than just characters just pointing out cliches all the time, which it could have easily fallen into. And if it had done that and didn't really have characters that were actually legitimately interesting or any actual tension, then it would have probably just the whole sort of angle of horror movie characters that know they're in a horror movie would have just fallen flat and gotten annoying after a while.
True. That's part of the magic is that we really cared about these characters. So when they were in danger, the stakes was that much higher and we were that much more on the edge of our seat.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it
Yeah.
was funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But even though we both love the movie, do we love the coming attractions that came with the movie? Let's find out. So, everyone, this is a Dimension Films movie, which means that unfortunately, the Scream movies, well, the first four were produced by Harvey Weinstein, but what can you do?
Coming soon to theaters.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop it right there. It's weird to hear. Well, okay, so I just did an episode on Sleeping Beauty, the 1997 VHS, and it is so strange to hear Mark Elliott, the Disney guy, on the VHS for a horror movie.
It
But
is a bit jarring.
yes, but there is kind of a reason for that. Back in the 90s, for people who didn't know, Disney owned Miramax, which is why you hear the same trailer guy, Mark Elliott, and also see even this sort of coming soon to theaters format, which was on many like VHSs for Disney at the
Yeah.
time.
Strickler's disease came to New York like a thief in the night. It was deadly, threatening to steal an entire generation of our children from before our eyes.
Since it has proven to be virtually immune to chemical control, we had to find a new avenue of attack. We recombined DNA to create a biological counteragent. We call it the Judas breed.
3 years ago, a team of brilliant scientists found a way to stop a deadly disease. Now, The cure they created has taken on a life of its own.
So you think your little Frankenstein's got the better of you, huh? There's some weird shit here. Lots of it.
They all died in the lab.
But you let them out. Evolution is a way of keeping things alive.
Sometimes an insect will evolve to mimic its predator. A fly can look like a spider. A caterpillar can look like a snake. They are breeding.
Whatever it becomes, it destroys.
Peter, these are lungs.
Yesterday, it became human.
If that thing has been around, how come nobody's ever seen it?
I think we have.
You see the size of that thing?
We changed its DNA.
Survive this.
Mira Sorvino, Jeremy Northam, Josh Brolin, Charles Dutton, Giancarlo Giannini, F. Murray Abraham. Mimic.
So before we talk about the trailer itself, there's just there's two elephants in the room to get out of the way. Just to let everyone know, unfortunately, Mira Sorvino was one of the women who had spoken out against Harvey Weinstein, this was a Dimension movie, which means it was produced by Harvey Weinstein, which means this is one of the movies she probably would have had to have dealt with Harvey Weinstein on, which, yeah, now looking back, is a little uncomfortable to know that. On a slightly lighter note, but still kind of harsh, this is the movie that Guillermo del Toro, I think it was like his sophomore debut, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right, Brian?
I believe so.
Yeah, so it was a movie that he's not particularly proud of because he and Harvey Weinstein clashed on set a lot, and apparently Harvey did a lot of editing behind his back. I'm not sure about the whole story. I've never seen this movie myself. Have you, though?
I have, and I saw it in theaters when it came out. It was actually a really original idea that I think they pulled off. I think the execution was well done. You can later, now that we know how good Del Toro is, you can see the starts of it here. I mean, you can see the genius of it hiding in the crevices of this movie. I enjoyed this movie a lot.
Okay. So what did you think about the trailer, though?
The trailer actually was pretty effective. I mean, they took the stages of the movie. They gave away enough to draw us in, like, oh, this is this thing is mimicking, they give hints at what it is. But now that knowing what I know about having seen it, they didn't give away all the good stuff.
Yeah, I will just say, as someone who hasn't seen this, yeah, this is a fairly effective, of course, very 90s trailer, but
Completely.
It's the late 90s. What can you do? But it did actually seem like a movie that I'm not going to say I'd rush out to see it, but I'm like, yeah, I could potentially like get into this. Like, it did really seem like it could be, at least just looking at that fun, entertaining, like action sci-fi thriller. And
and the creature looks good.
Yeah, like the trailer made it look a fair, like it could be like fairly interesting for what it is.
What are you gonna do, Sheriff? You gonna arrest the whole town? You're gonna come at them head on?
I offered you a chance, and you blew it!
Everybody's watching you, Freddy.
So Copland is one of those movies that everyone tells me is great, but I'll admit I have not had the chance to watch it. I will say that I do think the trailer is a little over edited, a little cheesy, the and the
Yeah,
constant like photographs and black and white. It kind of
and it's
makes
kind of all over the place.
yeah, like it doesn't real like it doesn't really sell me on the movie, which is a shame, seen as well, again, I don't know if I personally find it great, but knowing how great a lot of people find it, it is kind of a disappointing trailer.
Hmm. I will say this: the film is probably one of Stallone's absolute best
Hmm.
dramatic performances. It's not real. There's hardly any action. It's mostly him trying to grapple with being a cop in a small section of town that's all cops. Like when they start breaking the law, what does he do? So it's a really good performance from him.
Yeah. And what do you think about the movie overall?
Oh, I really liked it. It
Yeah.
was surprisingly better than I thought it would be. I mean, I know the cast is amazing, but Stallone has to be the one to carry it, and you don't ever, at least I don't ever really think of him as a great actor. I love his movies, but I don't consider him an actor's actor. And this movie squashed all that. He was really good in it.
Yeah. I will just say one last thing is I'm not sure there's much of an overlap with Copland's target demographic and Scream, so it's also kind of an
Yeah,
odd fit.
that was an odd trailer to throw in there, I gotta admit.
Yeah.
Coming soon to video cassette. She came from nothing.
I am only a simple woman.
She wanted everything.
One day, you too will inherit these treasures.
She rose to power on the strength of her passion.
When the crowds sing of glory, it is not just for Perón, but for all of us. For all of us. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance.
Hollywood Pictures presents the story of a love between a girl and a dream, between an actress and a politician, between a country and a legend. Madonna, Antonio Banderas, Jonathan Pryce, in a film directed by Alan Parker, with Academy Award-winning music by Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
So the trailer for Evita is fine, but yet another odd fit for the
Very.
VHS. I mean, again, I don't see how there'd be much of an overlap between Scream's target demographic and Vita's. Again, the trailer sells the movie fine. Like it says just enough that, if you're a fan of Madonna or Evita the play, or even Evita the cultural icon, I can see why someone might watch that trailer and be drawn in, but doesn't spoil the movie or say too much about it. It's just, yeah, putting it
It's
in front of Scream.
Yeah, it's an odd fit.
These great films, Curdled, Crime Story, Mask of Death, Albino Alligator, are now on video, and you're going to love them. First, it's the must-see movie Curdled. Quentin Tarantino presents Billy Baldwin and Angela Jones in this cutting-edge thriller. Next, get kicking with Crime Story, starring action superstar Jackie Chan. He's back and ready to rumble. Stand back for Mask of Death. the explosive non-stop action film starring Lorenzo Lamas and Billy D. Williams. Don't miss the hit film Albino Alligator. Gary Sinise, Matt Dillon, and Faye Dunaway star in this action thriller directed by Kevin Spacey. The biggest thrills, the hottest action, with the coolest stars. Curdled, Crime Story, Mask of Death, Albino Alligator. Hurry, don't miss out. Rent them today.
I guess it's a better fit. Action and horror, I guess I can kind of see why they would think that like they may have a bit of a correlation. Some of those movies just looked a little cheesy. I mean, a movie directed by Kevin Spacey,
Right.
and a series of trailers for movies produced by Harvey Weinstein. Ooh, that's not great.
Yeah.
Looking back.
Not a good look.
Yeah, but what did you think of this ad for these 4 movies?
It was very strange. They just sort of rushed them through, and I've only heard of these 4 movies with all had stars in it. I've only ever heard of Crime Story with Jackie Chan. I've never heard of any of those other ones.
Yeah.
And like Albino Alligator has a massive cast, and I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard of most of these movies either. I'm gonna guess they were either dumped in just a few theaters or went straight to DVD.
Yeah, I'm guessing straight to video for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the Kevin Spacey one was dumped in a few theaters in like a limited release, maybe. But I'm guessing the other 2 just went straight to DVD.
Yeah, I remember Crime Story was in theaters for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, was that the movie that, I mean, I know Rush Hour is kind of the movie that propelled Jackie Chan to an American audience, but would you say the movie that kind of started it?
Yeah, I mean, I think this came after Rumble in the Bronx, which sort of put him on the map for U.S. action movie people. But this one, I think, followed up, and it was before Rush Hour. And I never saw Crime Story, but I do remember it coming out.
Christopher Lambert, star of Mortal Kombat and Highlander, and Natasha Henstridge of Species are teamed up in the year's hottest action adventure, Adrenaline. Deep inside of Russia, in an isolated military compound, the ultimate secret weapon has escaped.
2 hours, our carrier becomes contagious. Tomorrow, 5,000 people are either dead or psychotic.
Now, an international force has been sent in to hunt it down.
If he lives, everyone else dies.
And 2 of the hunters are about to become the hunted.
We're going in. Let's go.
He wasn't human. He was a monster.
Christopher Lambert.
Gotta find a way out.
Natasha Henstridge.
They're all dead. Thing tore them up.
Look out!
Adrenaline. Fear the rush.
Again, I guess I can kind of see how how they might think that action and horror would attract similar demographics,
Yeah.
but the trailer for that just looked eh.
Yeah, very meh. I will say I like the tagline, Fear the Rush.
Yeah, but
Everything else, eh.
yeah, it just looked like it had a very generic story, and the dialogue was very generic. I'm not even sure do you remember if that even came out into theaters?
I've never heard of it till this moment.
Yeah, so again, probably something that was dumped or just went straight to DVD.
Robert Bishop's office.
I must speak with him immediately. It is a matter of life or death. Something terrible is happening inside the government at the highest level.
The president's top aide, Bobby Bishop, has just uncovered a conspiracy.
They killed Yuri Pachenko. 4 people are already dead. We got Bishop.
Where is he?
There are only 2 people he can trust. The White House Chief of Staff, who is the only one who believes him.
His safety is my concern, sir.
And a reporter who can help him solve the puzzle.
They have this database.
They call it Shadow.
Now, he's got less than 12 hours to stop the plot to take over the government.
May never have another opportunity like this again.
What are we gonna do?
There's a chance I can stop him. Whoever's behind all this, probably monitoring the entire White House.
Charlie Sheen, Donald Sutherland, Linda Hamilton.
Future of the country is in our hands.
In the film critics call action-packed and thrilling. Shadow Conspiracy.
Again, another meh film. Another meh looking film.
Charlie Sheen in an action movie. Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a series of movies produced by trailers for a series of movies produced by Harvey Weinstein. One of them is directed by Kevin Spacey, and now another one stars Charlie Sheen. Not a great look.
It's problematic.
Yeah. But even then, it's like, besides just the distracting appearance of Charlie Sheen, again, that movie just looks like it has the most generic plot. Even the title is generic. Yeah. Shadow Conspiracy.
Agreed.
Yeah. Which too bad. I mean, you also got Donald Sutherland and Linda Hamilton there, but
which were amazing gets. I can't believe they got them, and it should have been a better film.
Or have you seen that movie?
I have not. I did not even know Charlie Sheen had done something like this. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I heard of this movie either, honestly.
Now available on CD and cassette.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney.
Scream. Music from the Dimension Motion Picture featuring Nick Cave, Moby, Catherine, The Canals, Sister Machine Gun, Soho, The Last Hard Man, and Youth of America from Bird Brain. Get the Scream soundtrack on TVT Soundtracks.
You've been wasted.
The second time we've run into a CD commercial on one of these things, I'm surprised they didn't use Whispers to Scream, the cover for Scream that appears at the end credits. It's like, because gotta be honest, I kind of now associate that song with Scream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, and honestly, of the two CD commercials I've watched, this one was a little too over edited and obnoxious for my taste.
Agreed.
Yeah. But that is now the end of the trailers. Unlike the last two times, there's not a closing there's not a closing segment for the trailers. So now let us give our final thoughts on these series of VHS openings. As much as I love the movie itself, I'm sorry, I gotta give this like I think even 5 out of 10 is too generous. It's maybe 4 out of 10, and that's only with the understanding that I think there's just wasn't that many movies that Dimension or Miramax made that really appealed to the same target demographic as Scream, so they just kind of threw in whatever they could. And even the movies they could find that might have a similar target demographic, the movies just looked really mediocre.
And I'm going to go even a harsher 3 out of 10. I thought Dimension is also in charge of, I believe, the Final Destination horror movies. Or it's either Dimension or New Line, but I think it's Dimension. And they could have easily tied those trailers in.
Well, actually, the Final Destination movies, they didn't come out until 2000.
Oh, really? I thought they were in the 90s too.
No.
Okay. Shows what happens when you get old. You forget. But I mean, there's still surely Dimension had other closer related films to Scream. I mean, Scream was such a monster hit for them. You'd think they'd want to make the video release that much better by having some cohesion.
Yeah. Instead, we got trailers. Instead, they thought the target audience for Scream would like Evita for some reason. Or even worse, Shadow Conspiracy.
It's very puzzling.
Yeah, but anyway, thanks again, Brian, for coming onto the show.
Sure, happy to contribute.
Yeah, so where can people find you?
I have a trilogy of books out that are sci-fi, but they're sort of leaning horror, and the series is called Metcraft, Mechcraft. I'm all over social media. You can find me Facebook, Twitter, or X, Instagram, TikTok, and usually just do under author Brian Fitzpatrick. And I'm there, and I love engaging with people and talking movies, talking books, and I'm all about it.
Okay. Well, thank you again for coming on to VHS Era, and join me again next time where I will be looking at the VHS for Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, the movie that resurrected Scooby-Doo as a franchise. Yes, there was actually a time people considered Scooby-Doo a dead franchise, believe it or not.
Yep.
But I'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Take care.